Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Jamaica Politics Uncovered. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe if you haven't already. Returning subscribers, welcome back. Guys, if you were not here last night, this is part 2 of Jamaica Politics Uncovered's FINSAC. That was last night's title, part 1. And tonight we are doing a part 2 because the viewers requested it. So, I hope that everybody who came in last night is back, and I hope that you've invited your friends to join us tonight, and I hope that you shared part 1 with your friends. So if you haven't watched part 1, guys, you might be feeling a little bit lost, but if you've already watched part 1, you know exactly, where we are. So, let me see who they here. Type yes if you can't hear me, please. Type yes if you can hear me, please. Good evening, everybody. All right, good. So, tell me in the comments, guys. Did you enjoy last night? I had so many people say, please come back with a part 2. Come back with a part 2. I not feel no way, guys. When we go for 1 hour, it's only because when people come back for watch it, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I would not want to watch somebody's life for 2.5 hours because I just don't have the time. So I try to keep it at a reasonable time so that, other people will feel comfortable, in wanting to replay it. So thank you for the confirmation. Everybody can hear. Yeah, man. So if you're looking at the screen right now, the man that you're looking at is the former finance minister, Dr. Omar Davies. And Omar Davies served as finance minister under P.J. Patterson's government. In the 90s, Jamaica faced the worst financial meltdown in our history. And it's like we didn't have a government, we didn't have a finance minister. Everything that happened to the Jamaican people during this time, it was so criminal. There had to be an inquiry. That inquiry cost billions of dollars, right? And guys, we have yet to see the result of that inquiry. We've yet to see the result of that inquiry. We also spoke about a woman who wrote a book. She's one of the victims of FINSAC. She wrote a book about it called Too Black to Succeed. This woman is a teacher. Her husband was a businessman. They lived in the parish of Manchester in Mandeville. At the time, most people would have called it upscale Mandeville. You don't know the thing about Mandeville. Mandeville, long time we have called Mandeville liquor foreign. So, I don't know, dibby place. Yeah, educated people, people, just family people, educated, hardworking people, who want to live nice. Yeah. And she wrote a book called Too Black to Succeed. I encourage you all to read it. I'll show it to you shortly. But if you hear her story, guys, you would cry. There's another lady. I forgot this lady's name. My apology. But this is one of the people who did up on the forefront. She was out there I think she is like the president of they formed an organization. Yes, they formed an organization of people who are victims of FINSAC, which I thought was a brilliant idea, but some people, they were just so broken. They felt like, there was no there was no hope. They didn't feel like they were gonna get anywhere, so they didn't bother. They just went into grieving mode instead of, fighting. I don't know how it go with women. Some women, they're very strong no matter what they're going through. Guys, them are gonna strong up and them are gonna stick it out and all these things. I want to show you guys a video of a gentleman who was a victim of FINSAC. I'm going to show you what he had become after he became a victim of FINSAC. Guys, if you are just joining the live, please give the live a thumbs up and share the live with somebody. If you are just joining the live, please give the live a like and share the live with somebody. Tonight is called FINSAC Part 2. Part 1 was last night. This is a platform, guys, that informs and try to educate as much as possible, right? The aim and objective is to make sure that our politics become better. That way we can have a better country. We have been fighting this fight for too long as a people. And it's time now, because a lot of these people, they've gotten worse and worse and worse, because the Jamaican people, they've just decided to either migrate or keep their mouth shut and work with what's going on, right? And all who rub up the Jamaican people, them, all who disrespect the Jamaican people, them, and take the people them for fool and dunce, some of them come back now. Them come back now to further enrich themselves, right? And that's why tonight we are revisiting FINSAC, because they're back for more. And if you look at the photo, that was advertised for tonight's program, you will see 3 significant individuals on it. And these individuals, they are the biggest beneficiaries of FINSAC. Omar Davis, Mark Golden, and Peter Bunting. Omar Davis is too old and, frail now. He's already done his time. He's already scrape where he need for scrape. So him set on him 2 friend them now. Him bringing Mark Golden into the politics. And if you didn't know, Mark Golden came into politics because he advised and he was friends with Omar Davis. Now, a man like Mark Golden, to be brought into the politics by a man like Omar Davis, who did such a horrible, horrible deed to the Jamaican people, should be frightening for anybody, right? So we should be concerned. We should be frightened. The nerve that these people have to want to come back, the nerve that they have. And we already know their intention, because we can already see it. It's no secret why they're back. So we, the people, we must be patriotic Jamaicans, and we must be patriots. And whether they are JLP, PNP, or no P, when we have people who want to come and take advantage of Jamaica people, and if they are taking advantage, we're supposed to talk out against them. And if we remain silent and remain quiet, guys, we are complicit, right? We want all our way pass through on earth here, so we want our country to be better than how we found it, right? for our kids and for our grandkids. So we must not remain silent. So I'm going to show you guys a video right now of this gentleman and what they did to this gentleman and so many others. Over 44,000 Jamaican people. Businesses, small businesses. Some businesses were there over 100 years. Entrepreneurs in the country. Ruined. Sick out. Died. Migrated. Have a listen.
Very, very hard to cope with life like this.
After working hard for several years to build his dream house, he was thrown out in an instant, losing belongings he and his family had spent years accumulating. The FINSAC entrepreneur claims his house, which was valued at between $9 and $11 million, was offloaded by FINSAC for just $3.5 million.
At the time when the house sold, they said that whole 11 point odd million. And they said they sold it for 3.5, and I still have a balance of 7 point something. Up to now, I don't know if I still owe that money or what happened. I don't know if I have a money in my hand now, if they will come to me for that money, because they say I owe it, and I don't know if it's still growing interest. Because every time we ask for an account, nobody won't give it to us.
Mr. Willis says he ended up being FINSAC'd because he took a revolving loan from the now defunct Eagle Commercial Bank. However, with the interest rates skyrocketing, he, like many others, found it difficult to keep a pace with the financial demands. Dealing with the emotional toll of FINSAC hasn't been easy for many who were forced to start life all over again.
Guys, I am not going to show any more of these stories because it's hard for me to watch. And I imagine it would be for you guys too. So I just got a little snippet to show you as an example of what these guys did to the Jamaican people. If you were here last night, you would have heard how Mark Golding and Peter Bunting, the biggest beneficiaries of FINSAC, heartless and cold and cruel, how they benefited from it, right? If you ever hear about DB&G, when I left the show last night, guys, I was thinking to myself and wondering if DB&G was there for these kinds of unscrupulous activities. Because right after they closed, they sold out to Scotia. These two, very unscrupulous. You were here last night, you heard Liz said that the people in the financial community, they call Peter Bunting a piranha. These people have no mercy. This is the man you just watched in the video. Man loses business and home during FINSAC. One of the reasons why I don't want to show any more of these stories on here is because when you look at that man's kids, his children, and you see how confused those kids look, and you see how physically disabled he is as a father who's supposed to protect and provide for his kids. He did that. He did what was required of him. Protect and provide for his kids. He had his business. He had a home for them. And can you imagine being told to leave your house? There's another story I saw with a man. He said that businessman, he owned a couple houses. And a black man, so them people are really wipe out. When that woman say too black to succeed, say not lie the woman I tell though. Them people are wipe out. The black people in Jamaica, up and coming business people, Me hear one man give one testimony. Maybe I should have brought that one too, but I just didn't want to, too much sadness. The man say, businessman, he owned about 2 properties, plus one house where I'm living at. And the man say, then take away one of them property, and him carry them got privy council and win, And them take away another property, and sell it to one hotel owner, The man say, him a drive past and see what they do to him place. I build up him place as part of their hotel. The man say right now, at 2 weeks my light cut off and my neighbor may I get light from. And I'm scared that they're going to come and take my house. So they were so evil, that they had these people. Not only did they take their house, but they had the people living in a constant state of fear. Imagine you have 2 properties, 2 houses, 2 investment properties. Them take your place. Right now, not even your light bill you can't pay. And the very house where you're living in now, when you put on your head by your pillar, you want to say, Jesus Christ, I want them to come take me house. That is horrible. And nobody stopped to think. Let us stop this bleeding, these tears. And that's why they say that it's the worst. It's the worst transfer of wealth from the poor to the wealthy. And it's true. So when you hear people like Mark Golding come and talk about him rich and him ray, Mark Golding not come from a rich family. Him don't come from a rich family, So we know how he got his money, but he would never tell. He would never tell because it was criminal. He didn't come from a rich family. His father never come to Jamaica as a rich man. His father come to Jamaica as a man in the medical field. And the rehab center, and all time father pocket him father build this. So if I'm not mistaken, I think his father got some assistance from the British government. So on an all time pocket, him never come to Jamaica and shell out all this money to build this rehab center for Jamaicans because he loved Jamaican people so much. It's not true. And if there was money to be made in what his father did, he would have gone that direction. But he didn't. He went the unscrupulous way. Got rich through politics. Same thing holds true for Bunting. What a disservice to the Jamaican people. And now them come and run off them mouth. About them rich and them money and them this and them that. But them not tell you the truth. Them come and them call Andrew Holness thief. Them call Andrew Holness corrupt. What are they? For what they did to the Jamaican people? The scale at which they enrich themselves is nothing compared to what Andrew Holness will ever do as Prime Minister. And that's the truth. And I will talk it here again. I'm not an advocate for Andrew Holness. I'm just a speaker of truth. What they've done to the Jamaican people, it's no other government, administration. And it's not fair to blame the administration of this time. And why I say that, there were people, serving who would have never done anything like this, who saw this and saw the wrong and the evil in it and the wickedness in it. People like Carl Blight, who apologized to the Jamaican people and those who suffered so bad. He apologized. I think I showed you some text last night. And several times, there are several articles out there where Omar Davis acknowledged what he did and apologized. Whether that was sincere, I don't know. But how these people were not imprisoned is beyond me. So Dr. Carl Blight, he was a victim too. He lost a lot of stuff too. And he apologized. So to say the administration, I wouldn't say that. Certainly, I would definitely blame PJ Patterson as the leader. One of the women who became an advocate and an activist as a victim of the FINSAC thing, right around the time after FINSAC, PJ Patterson wrote a letter to the Prime Minister of UK, Mr. Cameron, and he was kind of scolding him. And this lady, she's so sassy. She said, Mr. Patterson has no moral authority because he was talking about reparation and how Mr. Cameron was dismissive of reparation and Ray. And she was like, you need to apologize to the Jamaican people for what you did to us. For what you did to us. You are in no position to speak to Mr. Cameron. She was fierce, and rightfully so. And likewise, Miss Valerie Dixon, she was everywhere. Not everybody took the loss and go lay down and died. There were a few, very few, who stood up. They got lawyers. They followed these people around. They called for justice. There were a few, thank God. And let me let you hear for yourselves how Mark Golding said he came into the politics. He came in because Omar Davis brought him in, rewarded him after them colluded against the Jamaican people, then cook up FINSAC so he can get rewarded.
To the Jamaican entrepreneurs, the black people in Jamaica who suffered so as a result of those of FINSAC and making peace with God and the ancestors.
So I came into the party through Dr. Omar Davis because I knew him in the financial sector, where I had been like one of the leading corporate lawyers in Jamaica and very involved in financial engineering. And so when he was Minister of Finance, a lot of the things that required industry input, I was one of the representatives of the industry that he would deal with. I got to know him through that. And that's how I got into the PNP, really, through.
So right then and there, guys, as you hear, he helped Omar Davis engineer FINSAC. You heard him. This is not made up. He helped Omar Davis to engineer FINSAC. Based on the events that took place, there was nothing nice about FINSAC. Nothing. You know how many people came in and take up these people's properties and assets for little and nothing? You hear what the man just said? When buying house for where they sell it for? You know how many people borrow, like, say, $1 million? And by the time it's all said and done, them owe $22 million? Forced out of your home, your business taken away. These people are heartless. Now, I'm not saying that everybody in the PNP is like that. I don't broad brush people those kind of ways because it's not fair. But what I am saying is when people like Omar Davis and those they brought, like Mark Golding and Peter Bunting, when them come and say that they want to lead Jamaica after what they do, after all they enrich themselves off the back of poor black Jamaican working class Jamaican people, and them love people, guys. Them don't love people. You don't need glasses to see that. After what they've done to the people, cold and callous, and they will never come out and defend themselves and say that I took this part and what I did was right. They've never. Instead, you get an apology. You get an apology and you get an acknowledgement from people like Carl Blight. Them not go willingly put them on behind them for police lock them up. And that's how it is. You get an apology. An apology cannot bring back the people them who go unalive themselves. An apology cannot restore the people's dignity. An apology is not enough. But it's not like what they did, they didn't do it intentionally. You know? It was not a mistake. It was not an error. They did what they did. Give me a second, guys. Yes. So there was an inquiry, as I told you guys, and as some of you may know, Commission of Inquiry. How much years now? Many years. And we've yet to hear this inquiry. We have had 2 administrations, 3 administrations. We have had administrations come in and no one tabled this or provided the Jamaican people, the Jamaican taxpayers who paid for this to be done. Nobody would show the Jamaican people what really happened. So there hasn't been any accountability. No, there hasn't been any accountability. So if and when these guys come back to office now, what do you think them are going to do with the FINSAC inquiry? What do you think them are going to do? You go have Omar in the background and remind Mark Golding. So make sure him cover up that. And you have his evil twin, Bunting. I tell him, say, make sure you cover up that. Make sure that no release. Because Omar Davis don't want to go to his grave with that inquiry table to the Jamaican people. He's pretty old now. Too old to go to prison. And in Jamaica, we probably would never see that anyway, because we are not like Singapore, who prison politicians when they are corrupt and wicked against the people. And this is what the problem is in Jamaica. Our law enforcement agencies and bodies, they do not have any guts. When it comes down to politicians, they do not have any guts. And that's why when them kill Melissa, we have to run out upon them when they kill Melissa, because if you're not mind sharp, them use them political connection and cover themselves. Right? And that's why we have to stay up on top of it. They've gotten away with so much. And it's not just these guys. People in both parties. Them do some wickedness to the people and come talk about sorry. Me not believe in a sorry when them do them something there. Knowingly take the Jamaica people things. When another people them land and the people them assets and the people them money. And when they get catch, then come talk about sorry. No, we have a country to develop. We have a country to develop. We cannot afford. We don't have the luxury of having people rob us and people who are corrupt. We have a country to develop in Jamaica. We have a healthcare system to develop. We are a developing country. How the hell are we going to afford for people to come and take things? That's why the country can't develop fast or can't develop at a reasonable pace. Because we constantly have people who are wiping out the poor, the middle class, the working class. And only those at the top who call themselves the Tapanaris class. And them alone supposed to be at the top. Them not want the average Jamaicans to reach up there with them. Them walk around and beat them chest to them at Tapanaris. And them don't make them money already. And when you hear the man say, uno must elect him leader so that him and him Tapanaris friend them can run the country. And I may talk so, guys, Mark Golding said it, and I have played that video here for you guys before, where him ball out in a poor people face, say, elect Mark Jefferson Golding. Anybody will refer to themselves in a third person, you know what they are. Uno must elect Mark Jefferson Golding as Prime Minister, so him can put some Tapanaris around him to help him run the country. End of quote. Okay? So when him put the Tapanaris them, him consider himself Tapanaris, him consider Bunting Tapanaris, them go high school together, and the man them over proven wealth. We are wait upon them for them going them prime minister position as Tapanaris, for them sweetheart deal and side deal and backdoor deal and all kind of deal. Them waiting, Because them donate to them campaign and they sitting there, So Jamaica people, they must open them eyes. These are nothing but a set of elite scavengers who do some wickedness to Jamaica people and coming back for more. They're here for no other reason. We don't know them as any activists, right? Them coming at this from, as them say, them fight them as financial engineers. Them engineer nothing but destruction and disaster. Because so them benefit. They benefit at the detriment of other people. And that's what they're about. And we have the testimonies. We have the testimonies. I don't even want to show every testimony per here. Because I can come out here for a whole week. Testimony after testimony. I want to see me just play the one with the gentleman down here, so. And show where them bring the man down to 0. Him and him pick them. I don't know if this man is still alive. Let me call my correspondent while I play this video for just those who are just joining. If you're just joining, guys, I'm gonna ask you to please give the live a thumbs up and please share it. Please give the live a thumbs up, each and every one of you, all 446 of you on here. Please to give the live a thumbs up and share it. Thank you. I'll be back.
Very, very hard to cope with life like this.
After working hard for several years to build his dream house, he was thrown out in an instant, losing belongings he and his family had spent years accumulating. The FINSAC entrepreneur claims his house, which was valued at between $9 and $11 million, was offloaded by FINSAC for just $3.5 million.
At the time when the house sold, they said that who 11 point odd million. And they said they sold it for 3.5, and I still have a balance of 7 point something. Up to now, I don't know if I still owe that money or what happened. I don't know if I have a money in my hand now, if they will come to me for that money, because they say I owe it, and I don't know if it's still growing interest. Because every time we ask for an account, nobody won't give it to us.
Mr. Willis says he ended up being FINSAC'd because he took a revolving loan from the now defunct Eagle Commercial Bank. However, with the interest rates skyrocketing, he, like many others, found it difficult to keep a pace with the financial demands. Dealing with the emotional toll of FINSAC hasn't been easy for many who were forced to start life all over again.
Yeah, man, them wicked. Very wicked. Let me call my correspondent, please. Hi, Liz.
Good night.
Good night.
Hello.
How are you?
I am good, interesting things happening in Jamaica.
Yeah, that's good. I guess you'll give us a brief update. But we're back here tonight again because after listening to us, several people ask for a part 2 because them say last night was too short. So you gave a pretty descriptive account for the role that Mark Golding played and Peter Bunting and Omar Davis in the demise of the Jamaican people, working, middle class, poor, biggest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich. Remind us, Liz, who was it who coined that phrase? FINSAC was the biggest, or is the biggest, transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich. Do you remember who said that?
Yes. Good night, everybody, and I must commend you. If I could go medal, award, national honors, you are doing at the right time a very, very good essential program, reenacting the old FINSAC development, because we see certain things happening again. The statement was made by then Member of Parliament and the Minister of Education that this, under the PNP government, that FINSAC situation was the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich. The Minister of Education, Ronald Twaits, who later became another of the most richest traitor backstabber when he supported Mark Golding, but he was the one who said that. And nobody up to now could refute it. Still can't.
Mm-hmm.
But while you were talking, you said something about them. They never was held accountable. Dr. Peter David Phillips, who was a member of the cabinet, Dr. Peter David Phillips said when he took over fully in 2017, president of the PNP opposition leader, Dr. Phillips said, because he was hurt at what he saw and what had happened, he said that he would establish a commission of inquiry. Unfortunately, I don't think he should have made that public. That once he won the election, the general election, and became prime minister, he would set up a commission of inquiry to thoroughly investigate what happened to the financial sector, inside the financial sector, from 1995 to 2017, 20. And when PJ and Omar heard that statement, they established the most vicious Adolf Hitler-like propaganda against Dr. Phillips and Portia, and it divided people of Jamaica and the comrades in the PNP. Up to this day, people still believe that vicious piece of propaganda that Peter Phillips attack and sabotage Portia, but nothing happened. That was done to make sure he never became prime minister, because that commission of inquiry would tell the people and explain to the people in detail what really happened with FINSAC or Holocaust. And the four men, they would stand out prominently. PJ Patterson, Prime Minister, Omar Davis, Finance Minister, Mark Olin, Chief Financial Negotiator of DB&T, and Peter Murcott Bunting. The lesser role was that Derring was in business with them, but he had no role in what took place in the financial sector.
Because he had no connection with the politics like they did.
No. And he wasn't that ruthless.
Okay.
He was in business with them, but he wasn't that ruthless. But Dr. Peter David Phillips said, and up to this day, that is why PJ Patterson and Omar Davis worked so hard to make sure he never made it to be Prime Minister of Jamaica, because that commission of inquiry. And up to now, while he has retired and is just waiting for the general election, they are still scared. That's why they're making sure also that Lisa don't get the job and Mark Olin gets the job, which God forbid he will never get there. Mark Olin's getting the job as Prime Minister, the whole thing get crushed. That's way 5-0.
Let me ask you a question. Somebody named Kay. Good night, Kay. Kay asked she made a statement, but I want to follow up with a question. She said they were touted as financial wizards back in the day. Instead, they crush the financial sector and destroyed lives. Why is it, Liz, that they were presented to the people as such a success? DB&G, such a success. Merchant Bank, why is it that it was not said that they benefited from the destruction and took part in and helped engineered the destruction? You know what I mean? Rather than talking about how successful they were because of it.
Yeah, very good question. No, you said something very important also earlier in your preamble. Mark Golding's father was not a rich person. No, he was an ordinary doctor in the British system, and he was part of the experimental polio vaccine, and he was paid. And he came here, and he led the experiment of injecting the children here with the polio vaccine, and many persons got polio. So he was not a rich person, and Mark Golding not come from a rich background. Now, the FINSAC situation, Bunting, Golding, and Derring, that established the bank. But the bank now became a killer. It was a piranha-like bank unleashing Holocaust because of the financial dealings at the time, 14 years, between DB&G, chief financial personnel, Bunting and Golding, and Omar Davis, finance minister, and PJ Patterson. And all of the monies that in US dollars that were accumulated from the bonds, the government bonds that they bought, was rinsed in that bank. That bank became the chief. It couldn't really legally, but they almost use it more than how they should have used the central bank, which was the Bank of Jamaica. And so the fact of the matter is that they were allowed, because Them never just became billionaires because of their dealings and the sweetheart deals, you know. The agreement was that any plane, two government personnel had to get kickbacks. They had to get their share. Kickbacks. It's an extensive, and God bless you. And I'm sure all FinSAC persons who are still alive and their families will forever be grateful to you for, because it's an essential part of our history that must be examined thoroughly in the public domain. But Dr. Phillips had to be stopped because that commission of inquiry will be too revealing.
So
but they made killings. They took, just remember you guys said, they took people's homes in exclusive areas. They took people's vehicle. The majority, the 90% of who they destroyed were black Jamaicans and whose banks were growing. And Bunting wanted to own it all. He wanted a monopoly banking ownership. He wanted to be. So he was the one, Angoli was the one who advised Omar Davis, then finance minister, to carry the interest rate through the roof and to remove to such a point where savers in the other banks has lost interest on their savings up to this day. You're not getting 0.005 interest on your savings and all them things there.
So look here. Fact that they dissolved this bank when I think it was around the time when the PNP came out of government. Remind us again. When did they dissolve this bank again?
When they sold DB&G to
Scotia, yes. Was it when the change in government?
Bunting was now 2007. Somewhere in that time, 2007 to 11, Bunting had now returned was coming back to, because PJ retired in 2006, and he told me personally, one-on-one conversation, that he was going to return to the politics, representational politics, when PJ leave, and he did that, but by this time now he was a billionaire by the government of Jamaica, and so he was returning to the politics, and Golding, he was bringing Golding in. Omar Davis have him over, did have him by them time over South St. Andrew, put him on executive. So he was over there 10 years before he got the seat, he was there. So because the Bunting was coming back to representational politics, now they liquidated and wrap up the DB&G bank and sell it to Scotia. There was an agreement between him and Portia also, that he took care of certain amenities, or what you want to call it, inside the PNP. That's how it was an agreement between him and Prime Minister Cynthia Miller. That is how Bunting returned. So when the nasty character ball out say a theme checkbook, the agreement was in place. That's how Portia had him come back into the PNP. It wasn't just him get up on him checkbook and him pay the light bill. It was an agreement that you took responsibility for certain things as General Secretary.
So,
and, the FINSAC thing, but we don't care how them stuff. Somebody, the right Prime Minister in the PNP, got all the commission inquiry, and the Jamaican first 44,000 will get justice from the two of them.
You know what I'm wondering, Liz? The reason why I asked you that question is because I was wondering if they basically dissolved and sold it because they no longer had an ally in any government who would have done what Omar Davis did. So whether JLP or PNP, nobody else never ever come and do them criminal behavior there and make them benefit off of it. So they just figured, we've made our money, let's just sell it out. You know what I mean?
No, man. Remember, when they became billionaires during the FinSAC era, right?
Mm-hmm.
The next step, they planned it out, No, they Bunting, the statement came out publicly. We are going to run Jamaica. Bunting was going to be Prime Minister. Golding going to be Finance Minister, so them control the power in terms of the Prime Minister, office of the Prime Minister, and them control the financial power in terms of the Ministry of Finance that will be Golding, and then the communication or what really comes out to the public will be controlled by Christopher Derring. So the three most powerful ministry would be Prime Minister Office, Ministry of Finance, and the Ministry of Information. Right?
Mm-hmm.
With that was their plan. So they had to get rid of the bank. Because by selling the bank now, Scotia Bank, not when the commission and if the commission and inquiry was allowed to be held and documents wanted from DB&G transactions during the period, then Scotia Bank would be just private sector interest. So I don't think maybe they would have to subpoena Scotia Bank to give up those information. So it's as if they buried the information by selling it, and because Bunting was coming back to the political representation and bringing Mark Golding with him. And then because remember the aspiration now, ambition now, being the powerhouse they have with the wealth they had, this enormous amount of wealth, they now move to the next phase. Phase 2, they were going to run Jamaica, the three of them.
Mm-hmm.
As Prime Minister, Mark Golding as Finance Minister and Christopher Derring control the information sector. But then the PNP got to do something. Things happen, Natalie happen, Stern happen, and Cross happen, and the PNP resistance happen, and other things. And
so
this,
their attack on members of the PNP like Hannah Palwell, because I'm saying this based on what I have seen, their behavior and those they recruit. They recruit the little bit of blood girl and them people there. And, I read some of the stuff that they post on social media and how they would attack some of these people. And the WhatsApp leak where they were plotting up against the PNP. So when you see them attack people like Lisa Hanna, them attack people like, Philip Palwell, you see them attack people who like Damian Crawford, for example, and the other people that they will attack, and those people would get so scared that they would just fall in line. What?
All right. Lisa was invited because I don't know if people remember, at one time it appears as if Bunting was trying to date her, but Lisa said no. But you would see her at over South Entando football match, Imani. But Imani was the JMMB wealthy, banking. Lisa, husband, investor, wealthy. So what happened was that Peter Bunting, think he was this Mr. They call it now God give to women, was trying to charm those two women to become part of his rich clique, elite. And
because they're smart too.
Lisa said, no, I'm not interested. And Imani also pulled away because they realized when they heard the plans, they said, my God Almighty, this has sent me, and the both ladies, because of their moral upbringing, said no, and then pull out. So that is why they went after them like that and got to the stage where persons was hired for Lisa's life. Jamie and Crawford and Raymond Price now, two young, emerging, bright minds, was going to be obstacle to Peter Bunting becoming Prime Minister and Mark Golding becoming Finance Minister. Here comes these two young rising stars. No, we cannot afford.
But stick up in right there. So I noticed that when it comes on to women, when it comes on to bright like Lisa, Imani, when it comes on to bright women, they don't gravitate to and when you look at Mark Golding's wife, no disrespect to Mark Golding's wife, but I really don't know what she does. I mean, being a housewife and a mom is no sin. It's a privilege, But besides that, I don't see what she does as an individual or what her passion is. I just see her as, the wife of Mark Golding.
But remember,
hold on a second. So I say that to say the women that come around these guys, what do I call it now? The most talented, I should say, the most talented women that you see around them are the people like Miss Little Bit of Blood, who has zero talent. Because you know them say she helped them cover up the murder with Melissa. But you don't really see no women of any caliber around them. And I'm wondering if that's done intentionally or if women just don't go around them because they realize they're not dealing with, decent, smart men.
No, well, the thing is, remember now, it's ruthlessness, it's piranha thing. Bombing crush all of the bank, the young banks, the black banks, the black-owned banks that were rising. It bunting crush them. So the next stage now, the Prime Minister, she can focus, laser focus, Jamaica, Prime Minister. And here comes these rising stars. Lisa Anna, very good, very astute, very brilliant, active, pragmatic, can become and is seen as a potential Prime Minister of Jamaica. Raymond Price, Damien Crawford. There was when it just started out, young Hubert Cannon, but he got he went awry down the road. But the three, Lisa, Damien, and Raymond now were serious threat to Bunting's ambition. So they had to be stopped by any means and at all costs. They had to be stopped. And so the diabolical people that them use, because people like Big Bit of Blood, Angela Brownberg, and them kind of female, they saw as no threat to them. But as any woman who has intellectual capacity, shows leadership skills, Dennis Daly, those women are seen as threat. So you must erase them, or you must make sure them can't get to the top, because nothing must stop Bunting. All right? And Bunting is laser focused. So he will do by any means necessary. He will erase any competition standing in his way. And that is who they are, and that is what happened. And then the ordinary man in the street, ordinary comrade, who believed, because they never, Bunting and Golding never saw Portia as any threat to them intellectually, Although Golding not bright, people will go and find out. Bunting and Golding.
Where you mean by people will find out? It's very obvious he's not bright.
All right. Well, some people still don't want to believe it.
And you don't have to have a PhD to be a crook. That's how they enrich themselves. You don't have to have a PhD to do that. But
no, that is true.
By his utterances and his behavior, man. He's not a bright. My 15-year-old daughter brighter than him.
Long time. But the thing now, Sandra, you must also remember it is facts. It has been proven factually. I did my research early. The only thing I got a bit out of line was at the age. Sandra was the helper's daughter. Her mother worked in his house. And as you said, he grew with this white attitude, UK born. He's entitled. So even the body, a black young female, 15 years old, is entitled because she's a helper's daughter in his family home. So Sandra had her first child at 15 years old, right? She was 15, which was under the statutory age for sexual consent, but he's not rolling him white, he's a Professor Golding's son. And then, Sandra's education, he was calculating and cold-blooded. He never thought it necessary to say to Sandra after the first child, and his father forced him to marry her and he went to Florida. He never thought that it was necessary. Since him going sick, them are going to push him out to come to claim, say, him not on rise leader and thing. He never thought it important to send his wife back to school, get her a finished education, get her a university level education, so she can choose a field of public servant where she becomes now his co-partner in his push to become opposition leader. You understand? That also tells me that he's not bright, he's a stupid person, because any man who has been thrown into this ring would then say, look, sweetheart, you have to go back to school, because she got pregnant at 15 without her consent. And so she, him now the impetus, the intelligence, the political savvy. To send him right back to school. So don't blame her because what happened to
No,
her.
no, me not blame her. I would never blame her, Liz. I am an advocate of women. I'm just saying, I'm just saying the type of women who surround them. And I'm not trying to categorize her in a negative way either. Because you have women who are housewife and women who just decide they want to raise their family and they're bright. You know what I mean? And I'm saying the women who, I mean, I've never really heard her. I think I heard her talk like once. I've never heard her talk at all. But I'm just saying the women who surround them are not women who are dynamic, women who, them.
No. They don't want anything like that. And I understand at home, Sandra is treated like the helper. That's how she's treated. Like the helper, even the way he has brought up his first two children who are the girls, they are disrespectful, and the son is also very disrespectful. But the fact of the matter is, we must not lose focus on this FINSAC matter. It is essential because, as I said, Dr. Phillips wanted and he expressed it publicly. And winning the 2020 election, becoming Prime Minister, one of his first jobs, he would establish a commission of inquiry, quality commissioners, and it will look at corruption in Jamaica from 1995 to 2020. And of course, he had to be stopped. He must be stopped, and they made sure, man, them stop him. Propaganda on this of Portia, and on fight against Portia, and on this, Omar Davis and Pickersgill, Agent Nicholson, one more was sent to his home by PGF.
I can categorically say that I can categorically say that these guys, when it comes down to propaganda, their style of propaganda is unlike anything I've seen. It is dangerous.
Adolf Hitler style.
Yes, it is very dangerous, and nobody must ever believe anything that they say because I have seen it, and the people they recruit, that's all they're good for, and that's all they're known for is to lie.
People them dry. Brainless women and brainless young men who unskilled,
have nothing to lose,
and things like that, and then them put it out there and give them 20,000, make them things a big money.
Yeah.
Them use them say 2 million from them and everything there. Brainless people and brainless, women who have no real brain power to decipher and say, no, that can't make sense.
Yeah.
But Mark Willen is not bright. But I can't beg off.
Man. Yeah, thank you again. Thank you again for joining us. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
All right.
Yes, last night I saw some people comment on here as well about their experience. There are some people who said that they lost, in FINSAC, or their parents did, or they know people who did, or some family member of theirs did. So it is a real thing, and it should still be a topic of discussion because we really have not had any answers, right? We have the inquiry from Tivoli Gardens. We saw that inquiry, and Jamaica and the politicians, they had to face the music and face what they did to the people, right? Millions and billions of dollars they owe those people in the Tivoli Garden incursion. Now, this financial incursion on the Jamaican people, why is it that Jamaican people and the Jamaican taxpayers who funded this inquiry, why is it that they cannot see the verdict? We need to see the verdict. And if anybody connected to Andrew Holness, who is listening to this tonight, I want to know if you ask Andrew Holness if he has the respect and decency for the Jamaican people to show them this report. I heard Nigel Clark made a comment on it about 4 years ago. I don't remember exactly what he said, so I'm not going to quote him. But are we to believe that a couple decades later, this report has not been completed? I don't think so. But the Jamaican people should hear what happened with this inquiry. Just like how we could have tabled the inquiry about the people and the incursion happened to, we want to hear about this. We want to hear, we want to see. It's time for transparency. No more cover up. See them reach a situation where them try cover up murder and Melissa Silvera. Too much cover up. Draw the sheet off of this, make the Jamaican people them say what really go on. Okay? It is time. Because when you guys cover these things up, you have the unscrupulous bunch who come in now think say nobody wants to see them final leader after what they did to the Jamaican people. No, man, no, sir. No, sirs. No. So to Andrew Holness, make the people them know what go on. Make the people them know what go on. After the tabling of the Tivoli incursion, it was ruled that a lot of the people were to get some money for what happened to them. I don't remember the exact figure, but a whole heap of money in total to the people them who suffered in the incursion. Right? And you see, you know what will pay the money there? Jamaica taxpayers them. Right? For the recklessness of how that incursion came about. So it is possible that if this report is tabled, you know, there's going to be monies owed to people and all kind of stuff. But nonetheless, we need to hear the truth. We need to hear the truth. And you see, women are always the ones on the battlefield. It's always the women on the battlefield who play the most significant role when it comes down to justice. And this lady right here, you're looking at Valerie Dixon, she wrote a book. I encourage you all to go read it. It's on Amazon. You can order a copy of it on Amazon and read. She's a teacher who was told to leave her house now in the parish of Manchester. Her husband was a businessman. They basically moved her out of her house. Moved her. Take out her furniture them. Take out her couch, her curtain them, her pillar them. Move her out. A woman who dedicated her life to service to our country and did everything right. Never thief nothing, never kill nobody. And this is how they deal with her. So one must read her book and listen to her speeches. If you Google her, you will see some of the speeches. And she's not lying. Too black to succeed in a Jamaica where 90% of the population are black people. And you have them here. Them barely born in Jamaica. And them will come talk about them and them tapanaris. If you can step on black people again, I don't think so. I don't think so. This one, him and the couple of other tapanaris them in the politics. Then phase out because they get all you know. Right? So, them pass it on. Them pass it on to them 2 years. Them 2 years the last. So once Jamaica get rid of them 2 years from out of politics, Jamaica can start see some different things, some new ideas, and some different people. Right? Them trick on what them say black man time now. Remember me telling you that when PJ Patterson come tell Jamaica people about black man time now, I trick on you. Because it can never be black man time when time they wipe out so much black entrepreneurs in Jamaica. It's the truth, me attack. I don't give a shit who vex because PJ served 3 terms And he was so politically savvy that he was able to secure so many election victories. That's beside the point. When you are going to come and tell the people about Black Man Time now, I want to wipe out over 44,000 small businesses, entrepreneurs, middle class, poor Black people. Black Man Time now for who? Huh? And then you never come now with no friend. When you look, a murder cover up. You're not sick in on the head, man. You're not sick. Black Man Time, you know where? Eh? You not trick the people. You not trick the people fully. So a time now. No matter about time come, it's time now to get rid of these two scavengers from out of the politics. Let the bright Jamaicans them, whether it be Damian Crawford, Lisa Hanna, whosoever. There are some bright people in our politics. And you see, if we as Jamaican people continue to let these evil reign in our politics, those people, because they want to serve their country so bad, they're going to fall in line with the evil among us, thinking that they can get in and do what is right for their country. But no, they have to get in and fall in line with evil. They have to get in and fall in line with evil. And that's what we don't want. We don't want a continuation of evil in our country and in our politics. It's time for Jamaica to let some real patriot, some real smart people. Guys, I was listening to a thing that they did at UWI back in 2019. I was doing some chores around the house and decided to put it on the TV. And it was a gathering at UWI about Peter Tosh. And yeah, some people gave some speeches. You know, some Rasta people and some non-Rasta people gave some speeches about, you know, the role that Peter Tosh played in a revolutionary way, in the way that he delivered his music. He was basically a politician and an activist through his music, like a lot of other reggae artists. And when I listened to the speeches that the people gave, when it was done, Mr. Jesus, Jamaica people them bright, you know. Jamaica people them bright, you know. So why don't we have a parliament filled with people who are bright and honest and decent? We can do it. We can do it. We don't need to lose them people there to migration and people who just get disinterested. We don't need to lose the people them like that. Let them aspire to serve and turn their noses up at corruption and people who are corrupt. Let them scorn those people and feel like it's okay to do that. Because only then we will get rid of the evil among us. And them gravitate to politics because them knows that them can find safe haven. They can find safe haven in a politics because we don't talk up. We must talk up. Cost it what it will. You understand, guys? Anyway, may I leave off here so tonight? May I leave off here so tonight? I want to thank everybody who participated, listened in, engaged. I'm gonna ask everybody, all 600 and other uno, please give the live a thumbs up. We not come out here a beg nobody nothing. We not come out here I tell no lie upon nobody, right? We'll come out here and try to be informative. Not very many vloggers come out here and do this without an agenda. Our only agenda is to make sure that we have people in Jamaica where uplift the country and take it forward, right? So the least we can do is to give the video a thumbs up And not even that we not beg. We are saying if we not appreciate the content, that's the least you can do. Okay? So I appreciate you guys. Guys, what I'm gonna have to do now with the phone line, I'm gonna have to designate a night or 2 nights where I can present the program and construct it in a way that I can be prepared to take a certain amount of phone calls, right? The last time it didn't go too well when we did that Saturday night, it didn't go too well, right? So I'm gonna have to pick out a few days where we know say, okay, we're gonna open up the phone line on those nights and we can have a chat, even if it's just for 30 minutes. And we be conservative with the time and so forth. So no feel no way. The phone line is still open, but it has to be, it's gonna take a little more time. I may have to be a little more organized with it. Okay. So thank you guys so much for participating. Make sure that you are sharing our content. Silent listeners, good night and welcome. Please subscribe. Thank you so much for getting us to 20,000 subscribers. Keep subscribing because we want to reach enough more than that, right? Because sky is the limit. Make sure so you share the content with enough friends and family, because that is how we're going to inform the people and disseminate this most, important information. So make sure so you do the right thing, right? We all have one mission. You're here because you want to see a better Jamaica, don't it? Yes, that's why I'm here. So we all have the same goal and the same objective. So let us make sure that we're sharing this content. And thank you so much for keeping it locked here to Jamaica Politics Uncovered, where you get all your political news, reviews, and updates. Everything we talk over here so is true. What we don't know, we say allegedly. When you don't hear, we say allegedly. 100% facts. You hear? Anyway, thank you again. Have yourselves a good night.